opportunity to come together to do the work of the county this evening. We ask for wisdom and guidance. We ask a special blessing over Nancy as she gets to retire and enjoy not serving here any longer and having to tie up her evenings with us. And Lord, we just thank you. We thank you for the time that she has served. We thank you for the good that she has done for the county. And we ask, God, that you bless her. And Father, we ask that you watch over us in the decisions that are made this evening. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Mr. Hines, will you lead us in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Go around the room with introductions. Start with Mr. C.
Josh C. Chris Hahn.
Linda Wright.
Sheena Van Meter.
Sean Collars.
Janet Rose.
Doug Hines.
Nancy Horn.
Dixie Bean.
Melvin Shuck. Welcome, everyone. It's great to be here. I think to start off this evening, we'll celebrate Nancy's time here. We'll have some cake.
Hey.
Speech,
Oh.
speech.
Yay. We can't do it without Nancy.
Yes, yes.
So this evening, I said it in prayer, but I'll say it in all seriousness. I know Nancy's excited that she doesn't have to spend her first and third
Give
Mondays
me your
with
cell
us.
phone, because so I can call you about Nathan when season comes inside. Know where the,
However, we are going to miss her terribly, and she's done a really, really nice job for 16 years.
16 years.
Okay. And so we have a plaque here. Get a picture with the board. You guys will stand up, Sean.
oh, yes.
I'm trying to think, you started with Rughead, then Barb, sorry,
Thank you.
Doug.
Come on around.
then,
Your favorite.
cheese.
We
gonna move that chair out of the way?
No.
Thank you. Nancy has always been a champion for kids, and she's always, I'm not gonna get emotional sometimes.
Well, if you cry, then I cry, so don't cry. It's okay, Sheena.
You've been a good support from the beginning for me, and I appreciate that very much. And lots of craziness and lots of calm too, but I appreciate it.
Thank you. It's been a privilege to serve Party County Schools.
And you've done a nice job.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Now, we
Yeah. And see, yeah, guys like a class.
See, Dr. And Dr. Dodson, and she was before.
4 superintendents.
yes.
Thank you. That's pretty.
We have
Yes,
chocolate
very pretty.
I don't care about it.
and a white cake.
I can feel it.
Chocolate and white. And I invited your family, as you can see.
Joey just sent me a text, so.
I don't know which is which. And I made the cake is blue, green, and gold.
Okay. You are right. He is tiny.
I'll blame you.
He is correct. Just a.
We're gonna miss her.
Doesn't make any difference. Yeah, that's really good.
Mm.
We're gonna make her gonna be a grandma at school.
Are you? Well, that'll be good.
That's a great idea.
What did she say?
She said they're gonna make her go be a grandma at school.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
There's
But she's still working.
She makes choices every day.
Yeah, right? Yeah, that's what it's done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brad.
Yeah. Sweetheart.
I found it interesting
Tell them I
that there was only one thing that
I
we
can
all
honestly
agreed
say
on,
that.
I saw that too.
I don't know, you're gonna call Dixie.
and
I'll
that
find
was
out
about
what's
us.
going on. I will.
And I'll tell you that it's
I've only seen 2 falls. Yeah, see, you
One of
know, one
each.
the other day, mowing,
I'm going
put his love across the road.
Oh,
And,
no.
Because I
went out
know.
Rick, and
Yeah, I
planted some
know.
trees.
Okay.
One lane near the creek.
Just wondered.
Okay,
So
I
one day,
appreciate y'all
he
putting
was
on
up
that.
moving around.
You're right.
Yeah, I don't mind.
We got up and six up and going.
We don't see
You
it.
say you only got one when you were running?
I get one every year.
You know how I feel?
Right in the middle of the damn field.
That's crazy.
Or just you, or just you.
Janet, you want cake?
No, thanks.
No? Linda?
No, thank
I
you.
mean,
I'm on slow, so I try to, but the grass this year is so dead.
Right.
It's impossible.
40 days.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
You heard that?
I did hear that.
There's nothing.
There's somebody at my house.
When you started, it was you and Dixie Perkins.
Rick Perkins, Ken Hack,
I forgot that Rick had once been on the board.
Margaret Travers.
It's just that piece of altar,
I just looked my fingers.
and there's only one piece of altar. What do you think, the bottom cut off?
I did.
No, the whole thing is sheared off. So you probably-
Aren't you gonna get cake?
What
You're being a good girl.
Hey, here comes a track person. Oh, yeah, Logan, do you want a piece of cake?
Please.
Chocolate, vanilla, or vanilla? You want chips?
No, thanks.
Without-
No, thank you.
They want chips?
But the last time I remember being programmed.
Where's Jim?
You know the last.
Holden Beach, North Carolina.
Oh, okay, that's where we're going. Really? I hope she gets lots of shells.
That was the plan for last night. They were going to shell searching.
Yeah.
She called, she sent me a picture from their front porch and I said,
I think we should leave it here for
Sit
the,
down.
you really know how
the
to
staff
torture a
that is so
person.
wonderful to have.
Sure.
I am positive. I'll take a piece of it. It's good.
Are we?
Which basket is it?
Uh-huh.
So then where you walk in, like the main basket,
Did she do well? She really did?
the little box has
I heard she was going to.
a radius.
She sent me a
Okay, we
video.
ready to proceed?
The smart closet has, and there's that one.
That's the first.
Next on the agenda was partnership with Education, Warfield High School, Grant Memorial Hospital. They aren't here this evening.
They called and asked to reschedule, so we'll get them back on a different agenda.
Good deal. Next is maintenance and transportation updates. Mr. C.
Our driver of the month could be here again, Andy Miller. Andy Miller, lead mechanic, great driver. Speak for yourself, everybody knows Andy. Andy's just a good guy, extremely safe, no accidents, but couldn't be here with us tonight. On the facilities side, passed out the updated, newer version of a list for you. There's two new ones. One is the gas line at Moorfield High School. We were up there and noticed that the boots underneath that gas line had busted, and the boots are actually rubber, but the brackets that mount the rubber to the pipe is metal, and that metal is going to fairly quick be down through our rubber roof. So Riddleberger's was actually here today, went up and looked at it. I haven't asked them or talked to them yet to find out what they came up idea-wise. But it's like an 8-inch galvanized line, and Lloyd and I could not budget, just the two of us. So we're gonna see what their ideas are. The other one is East Hardy High School. When Heidi, the health inspector, was with me, we realized that there was not any hot water at East Hardy High School down in the home ec room. It was 20 minutes before hot water got there. Asked those guys again, they came today, they did find it. There was a circulation pump in the middle of the line that had been turned off. They don't know how long. They wanted to start there and turn that pump on. They found a second pump they said was bad. They wanted to replace it and start small before we start diving in and rerouting lines and doing things like that. So those are the updates on those two right there. But they could be significant, but right now they sound fairly simple.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
That room is not being used for anything,
Which room?
the home ec room
At East
at
Hardy High
East
School.
Hardy.
Oh.
Never mind, I was thinking over the hill.
High school.
Okay, wrong room. Oh, yeah, she definitely needs it. Sorry.
She eventually gets it, but she has to let it run for 20 minutes. But it gets there, it just takes a while.
Wow.
And
That's-
hopefully
And
it's
that's
the
a waste in
circulation pump.
itself.
Hopefully. That's fairly simple with the circulation pump. I was just thinking because it was a new part of the building, maybe they didn't get it back in the circulation line. That was my previous thoughts on that. Yeah. But those were my two big updates other than the summer work schedule. Questions on the work orders?
I did have one. The sink in the art room, is that the new sink that just was put in?
At East Hardy Elementary School?
Yeah.
Yes, there's just sits up.
Says it's leaking every time they run the water.
I'm not sure.
That's what the work order
Yeah,
said.
well, it must be then. Yeah, that, Tom's, he's been doing he's been on vacation.
Okay.
Yeah, Tom's usually my plumbing guy. I was thinking the wood underneath of, we gotta paint the wood underneath of because of the water.
No, it just says it has a leak each time the water's running.
Yeah, we'll get it.
May 30th.
Yeah, it's simple.
And there was,
Tom went out of town.
there was an issue with the AC in the gym at Warfield High.
Yeah, it's been, I think there's
It's
something,
the same part that we've had
Yes.
ordered for forever.
yeah.
They can set it down and lower it, but it only cools so cool, like 70.
It resets itself.
Yeah, it resets itself and we have to re-kick it back on. But there's a part order for it.
Sounds like it's got a governor on it.
Can that part come from anywhere else or is that a factory part?
I have to ask Lloyd.
Yeah, we can ask him. I know he checked on it. It's still, they're still having issues getting it. So I'm not 100% sure, but I can have him check and see if it's available anywhere else.
Might pay, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
It has. Yeah, yeah. And they're gonna be in there pretty much every day this summer.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
that's kind of the issue there.
It'll cool. It just needs to be frequently
Reset.
reset.
Mhm. Constant,
Is it okay in the auxiliary gym?
it is.
So if it gets too hot in the main gym, could they just move whatever activity
It's too easy.
is happening there? Or are both gyms gonna be used?
Keep my opinions to myself.
I'm not sure.
I'm not
Are they
sure.
using both gyms?
I don't think so.
Okay, so yeah,
Yeah, it's possible to move them.
as long as the other one's not being occupied.
Right.
Anyone have anything else? Any other questions?
Oh, Miss Nancy, give me one on your last night.
Sorry,
All
I didn't see any.
Thank you. No public comments? Next on the agenda is consent items.
Move to
Move to
approve.
approve. Second.
Properly moved and second to approve the consent items. Any discussion? I had one question, since Sarah isn't here. Droplet Solutions, what is that?
Yep, that's the software program that we use when we put all of our forms online. So like our professional lead forms, our all that gets done now through that automatic submission. Droplet is what
Any other discussion? Not proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Votes 5-0. Unfinished business, budget update, attachment 6. Any questions that we can pass on to Sarah on that?
You know, the invoices, I don't know if this is the right time to ask that, but, have we gotten the deed for Baker Park?
I have another draft, but I talked to her a couple times this past week and she's still trying to get a hold of the surveyor and get him to call her back to look at the most updated stuff that she found to try to compare the two. So I was just waiting until she finalized it.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else have anything on the budget update? If not, next on the agenda, approval of the track project.
Motion to approve the track project as presented.
Second.
Properly moved and second to approve the track project. Any discussion? Ms. Mahinda?
Yeah, I'll just add that I handed back out the timeline that the boosters had provided, as well as the estimate for what it will cost for the finishing, the rubberization and the painting, and all of that is on that second page of the track. I think it's 98.3.
350.
98,350. So that would be the estimated cost, and, you know, I think as long as it doesn't exceed that, we would be okay to go ahead and approve it if the board so chooses to do that.
So that'll have to come back after the bids go out for approval of the bids, correct?
Yep, that's correct. We'll bring it back to you guys once the bids come back to approve that final amount.
And this is the final amount that we, as the
As a
Hardy County
board.
Schools will be paying.
Yes, that's the part that you would cover as a board, and then that would be the option that Pendleton
Right.
provided, Pendleton Bank provided with the 0% financing for 10 years, up to 10 years, should you need it, that would be that amount. And I'll just add as a side note that I do have track maintenance plans for both tracks, as well as pre and post track inspection, the amount of money that will be needed, will need to be put aside and saved to maintain the tracks long-term. I do have plans for all of those that I'll be able to
Who would
share.
be the person that check the tracks as far as?
Well, the coaches during practice, pre and post, as well as the athletic directors. And then all of that will be shared down here with the maintenance department. And that way we'll have good records. And if there are any issues, we'll have all that. And then there should be a fund set aside to help keep it maintained and
We're gonna do
repaired.
all fields, not just,
All fields, yeah.
yeah, we're gonna make that all fields from here on.
I had
Good
a
idea.
question about that. I've
And
written
we're
myself
so
a note.
active, it's either we got-
Who's gonna be responsible for the track? Because, I mean, who's taking ownership of it? And like, we need to have a no cleats and, we
I
need to
actually have
have,
all of that
you're
here.
working on all that.
I have it. I have it all here to share with you guys during board member. and
Okay,
superintendent discussion.
okay, good.
So I have all that to share and split, but it would be cared for equally by both middle school and high school is kind of how I broke it down.
Okay, because
It's
they're
your
who's
responsibility.
using it.
Have you addressed, public use of the track, especially,
I do not
Why not?
have public guidelines, just general care guidelines regardless of who's using it, is how I have it broken
I'm
down.
just wondering how, I can see how school use can be monitored and controlled, but people in there riding their bikes and walking their dogs and,
Yeah, I have no
whatever.
bikes, no skateboards, that kind of stuff on the list as far as rules and regulations. Those are things that'll have to be publicly posted.
I
and
have to
Which we
have a
can work
little do
through
not,
once it's finished, that
a no board.
I kind of have it falling under the school athletic directors and the track coaches specifically for that field, with the overarching being the maintenance department. So it'll all kind of come back to Josh. So when he gets that and everything's been looked at, if he sees, oh, it says there's a giant hole around lane 4 at the right corner, then we'll know, okay, we need to look at the maintenance fund that's been established that they're putting money into to make sure it's taken care of and get that repaired. So we have a plan for all that.
If I can, I'll say that we have intentions of buying a mat to place over the track so that football cleats can walk over that mat and not harm the track.
And I think that would have to be a requirement for sure.
Good. We appreciate it.
So
Happy to do it, happy to do it.
if we're using the bank, we'll have to do that as a lease?
Yes. Mhm. Yep,
Not
it's
as a
not a
loan.
loan, it's a lease.
Right.
That's correct. Yes, sir. Thank you for clarifying.
Any other discussion? If not, proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? The vote is 5-0. Once again, Logan, I want to thank you all for all the work you've done.
Thank you guys, thank you guys, really. I'm looking forward to the new track. Thank you.
Next on the agenda, new business, approval of surplus bus bids, attachment 7.
Very well.
Move to approve.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded to approve the sale of the bus bids, attachment 7. Any discussion?
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Night.
Guess you didn't have anybody out of the area, just,
Just those two.
you know. Any other discussion? Not, proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Vote is 5-0.
That's good, though. That's pretty close to what we normally get for a surplus, or maybe more.
The people out of town are only interested in the manual transmission, not the automatic transmission. They send them to Guatemala.
Next on the agenda, approval of Hardy County Board of Education meeting schedule 24-25, attachment 8.
move to approve.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded to approve the meeting schedule for 24-25. Any discussion? Not proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Vote is 5-0. Board member self-reflection. Mrs. Van Reeden, you have anything there?
Yes, I handed that out to you all. It should have been at your seat. It looks like this. Thanks to everybody for completing it
I
today.
apologize.
It's
I didn't
okay. I
get
didn't know who the two were, but I knew that. Everybody's there.
As soon as I got the email.
It's okay. Everybody's included. I mean, it was positive. You can tell that you can flip through if you have any questions or any areas that you would like to discuss. I think that we certainly can do that. We only had one disagree. That was number 27. Board members attend school district and community events throughout the year when possible. It says there's one disagree on there.
And that would be me.
Oh, okay. You
And,
don't
and,
have to share that.
well, I don't mind speaking out on that issue.
Okay.
Because, there are all kinds of things happening with our students, with our teams. I mean, things other than sporting events. That's what draws the crowd. That's what most of us, like to go to. But when these kids do a band concert or a choral concert or the Christmas Day at East Hardy High School or, any of all the other, dozens of events that take place, sometimes Melvin and I are the only people who show up. And I just think the kids need our support. That's me personally. I know it's not always convenient. I know there have been times when I'd rather sit home. But,
Well, and everybody's on different schedules too, and
right, and some,
schedules factor into that for sure, but
I understand, but I wish we would make a stronger effort.
well, and I'll just
to
add, if
support
there's
our
anything
kids.
that I can do to help in that area, you all let me know what that is, and I'll be happy to.
Well, I think we've gotten the word out to principals that we'd like to be invited. Emily is really good, at making sure we're included. She's the best. Others, we don't know. We can't be there because we don't know
I'll
some of the
remind them
things
to
that are
make sure
happening.
that they're sharing that with you guys.
Yeah, that helps if they tell us.
But everything else was all strongly agree and agree. I didn't see anything that was standing out.
I found it interesting that there was only one on which we all agreed, strongly agreed. And that was patting ourselves on the back for how well we operate.
The authority of the board is a corporate body and not as individual members.
I think that point has been brought home strongly to all of us.
Is there anything else you guys would like for me to do with this information? It's posted on our website. I've submitted it to Stacy Murrell, so it's turned into the state. If there's any areas you want to work on.
Does the state do they do a composite of all the counties?
It's
That would be
required.
kind of interesting to see how the other counties
I
You know what I'm
have
saying?
never seen a report,
compared.
but I'll ask.
Yeah, just food for thought. Because like I said, when you go to a lot of these meetings,
The state
these
meetings.
other boards don't get along. I mean, they fight,
That's true.
they'll tell you that. I mean, we don't get, you'll have factions, you'll have 3-2 or 2-2-1, for the most part. We have always, since I've been on, we've agreed to disagree,
Yeah.
And that's the way, to me, a board should, If our Congress and Senate would work that way, a little bit better.
Well, that has to be made public, so I guess if you put it on the website, that's sufficient.
I went back to the last email we had from Jim Brown where he was reminding everybody to do it by August 15th. And it said they are made public as in posted on the reference being posted on the county's website. So Tony did that today.
I'm just reading this.
So I think we're good on that.
I think it would be helpful if, how we have on our agenda, we have upcoming events. I think that if the things that are happening are listed in there, it would be good.
Good idea.
So that we have it and we could plan.
Okay.
I know that we had talked about like going to LSIC meetings, and it seemed like, there were there were several I wanted to go to, but two people were already there and they said we can't have three there. And then I went to things where no one else was there.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
you weren't
it happened.
alone.
Yeah, it happened.
Yeah, and Nancy
Well,
was at a
the thing
lot of
about it,
things.
sometimes
so-
too, we don't know about till after the fact, just like the FFA package. When you get them a day before that day,
It makes it
makes a
tough.
big, we
Yeah.
had
Yeah,
those
when
meetings
you
at
have to
one
choose.
bank when
Yeah.
we were down at Romney, there was an FFA bank,
Right.
saying,
Same
we needed the ours, so we had to go to get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that schools do, in-house newsletters differently they send out to their staff the upcoming events of the week. Maybe I can see if they'll add Sean to their listserv so that when that comes through, maybe you could then take it from there and put it on the agenda that way. We could just look at the weekly.
And some of the LSICs are like, 15-minute meetings? Some are,
Well, some, are a joke.
yeah,
Let's
exactly.
just say it.
So what,
I think this upcoming year, the LSIC meetings will become more structured. They have to be.
Yeah.
because of the
Right.
And are they aware
And is there,
that whoever's in
They
charge of the
are
LSIC?
preliminarily aware.
Okay.
Meaning, I've already I had a special meeting with the principals where we just did all the legislative changes. And then we'll have to adjust any policies or stuff after July 1 officially. And I've been digging through to make sure we have all of that transferred over. So we'll revisit it, but they know preliminarily. The other thing I think that was included in that new legislation was that the state had to develop a training that they were going to give to LSIC chairs. So they also have to do that and pass it down. And then I'm guessing what they'll do is kind of like they do with the board member stuff, it'll be regional. So I'm assuming there'll be regional trainings that somebody from the state departments will go out. And we'll probably go with like Hampshire and Grant Pendleton or something of the sort and have a
Well,
training.
that'll be good.
Yeah.
But that really would help if they would include and we could get it on that
Yeah.
agenda
Yeah, just somehow loop us
of
in.
future. Yeah.
well, and that way, if we had some advance notice, we could figure out who can go
Absolutely.
and
We can say, okay,
I'll take this one.
I can go, who can go with me and, or
Right.
vice versa
Right.
and whatever, so that we don't have an agenda as a board. So,
Also, is there any way that it could be made in person?
You
Or
can't
has
man-
Zoom
you can't mandate
taken
it.
over?
Yeah. With businesses being involved, I think a lot of times for their business partners, it's just more convenient. You can't, I can share that, and I have before, that you all like them when they're in person, but I can't mandate it, just because sometimes for them, it's easier to get their people involved when they can Zoom in as opposed to come in person.
It's a week involvement.
Anything else on that? Ms. Van Meter?
Nothing from me.
Next on the agenda, board member and superintendent discussion. No action may be taken. Anyone have anything this evening?
Do you want me to go first?
Sure.
The first thing that I'll share is I put at your seat the board member, compensation changes that were made through this past legislative session. And Sean and I talked to we were following or trying to follow the back and forth of all of the emails from the ethics decision. And what we ended up with is our own ethics decision. So we called and spoke to Mr. Roush from the Ethics Commission this morning to make sure that what we currently have in our policy covers the changes in board member compensation that was passed through legislative session this last time. And we are good. We don't need to make any changes to our policy. We don't have to do anything active as a board. Our policy currently reads compensation of board members. The board members may be compensated up to the full rate of the number of yearly meetings established by West Virginia Code. Members will be paid based upon the rate established in code. So we're already good for you all to be paid at that full rate. So I just wanted to make sure you knew that you were good, and we have it from the Ethics Commission stating such. I also
Thank you for,
yeah, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Sure.
thank you.
You're welcome. I thought we were good with the original email we sent, but too good to be true. This is the next best thing. This is the vape. I'll wait till everybody gets a copy of it so we can just show that.
Thank you.
This is our first complete year with our vape and tobacco cessation course and our 45-day placement. And I wanted to share with you that we had a total of 15 kids go through the course. 7 of those were 45-day placed kids, which means those are kids that you would have previously expelled. And we had a 100% success rate with those kids. So every kid that went through that course tested negative at the end of the 45 days. And then was able to return to school without having to bring you an expulsion. So I thought that was extremely positive. And then also 8 kids caught with tobacco that were put through the course. Only one of those students reappeared. And we just originally, the school increased, I think they ticketed and the school increased their end of disciplinary action, but we sent them through the course again because I thought, well, twice.
Is that a chewer or a smoker? Do you remember? Do you know?
Smoker.
Smoker.
I think they all were.
Okay.
All of the
2 call it
tobacco
tobacco.
ones were, nicotine only in vapes, I guess I should say. So
Okay.
technically, when I call them tobacco kids, what I guess we really mean is not THC, not marijuana. But I thought that was fantastic. So I wanted you to know that, and that's been a very positive thing that we've done.
Yeah.
Win-win, kept them in school.
And we've kept them in school, which has been huge too, because otherwise that would have been 7 kids who we would have had an alternative ed all year for 365 days. We would have had 7 expulsion hearings.
Well, I was
We
gonna
would
say,
have
it
had-
would have cost the county too,
Yes.
several $1,000s in salaries for the meeting.
Well, for all the counseling, everything, win-win.
Win-win.
Very good thing. And then the other things that I have, I've got a bunch this evening, I'm sorry. I wanted to share these with you. So this is something that I just received in the last couple of weeks. 2024 Title IX changes have taken effect. Just to kind of summarize for you, it's more of a broad overview of what is considered a Title IX violation now than what was before. They did not address, there's not a decision on transgender individuals playing sports, so that has not been decided, so that's not included in here. But what is included are things such as policies that maybe will impact one gender over another. So anything, it's more of a broad encompassing umbrella for what's considered a Title IX violation. So I wanted you to be aware, because, it's important for us to make sure that our schools are aware and that we're handling things correctly. And as a board, you need to also be in the loop, but you can read it in your spare time. It is kind of interesting. It's not a hard read, but it kind of breaks it down where it's easy to understand. And there are things that we need to do as a county with our administrators to make sure that everybody in our schools is trained. Beth Barr is our Title IX investigator that we report to if there's an issue. And then from there, our assistant principals are all trained as Title IX investigators, and they're assigned to opposite schools. So they can't be the investigator in their own building, but they're all trained, and we did that the very beginning of the school year. So, and then the last thing that I have goes back to the track things we were talking about, and kind of explain for you what I have here. And I talked to Mr. C about this to make sure everybody's in the board office has been trying to use their vacation days. So they've been on vacations at different times. So I'm trying to catch everybody up as we go. But this is basically just a packet specifically for track care, track maintenance, making sure that when the time comes to make major repairs to each of the tracks, we have the funds available and set aside to do so that we don't end up in the situation that we were in with the track too far gone to really repair without starting over. And that happened both at Moorfield and at East Hardy. So we are hopefully planning to prevent any issues like that in the future. And as Mr. C said earlier, we're going to look at all of our athletic fields, lights, gyms, everything to make sure long-term we have plans in place, preventative maintenance wise, as well as our facilities, which we And I have some things for that too that I'll work with him on, but anyhow, you'll see here that there's an expectations for track coaches on the proper care, and that would kind of extend to what you were talking about, Janet, with how do we make sure that the public knows? So we'll have to make sure that there are posted and clear guidelines, signs that are out for everybody to see too, and we can take from this and build to it. These are not finalized by any means, so if you read that and think, oh, you're missing this piece, please let me know. That I have them all saved, we can modify it. I just wanted you to know that your money that you're getting ready to spend towards repairing this track wasn't, it was a good investment as opposed to worrying about long-term. There's an inspection form, a pre and a post. And then I gave you, basically this is what it's gonna cost annually to keep the tracks in good shape per track. And then if both middle school and high school contribute to taking care of it and raising the funds, you'll see here how much will need to be raised annually in order to do that. So we do have a plan in place that we'll share specifically with principals, athletic directors, and I'll have them work with the coaches in their buildings to pass that down.
Does the Moorfield track have a fence around it? I can't remember.
No.
Sorry,
No.
I didn't
No,
think so.
not
So
at all.
neither track has a fence around it. So
Either track has a
that,
fence.
I feel that should be encouraged for, I know this is a lot for the boosters to take on in the schools,
Mhm.
that would probably help a lot with your maintenance stuff with the track. Especially during football games where they are because of the amount of people that they're trying, they rope them off, but as someone who stands down there during
Yeah.
a football game, it's really hard
Electric fence.
to
Keep
see
them
him,
off
to
the-
keep them off the track and
They just jump.
and I know they said they were getting a mat for across the track,
At Moorfield.
which is fantastic. But they have to encourage
Like border wall.
the other teams to do that also. I know they had a little bit of problem with that at East Hardy, not a lot, but a little bit of a problem.
Okay, when they have visiting teams.
When they have
coming to
visiting
also-
teams, right, and they've tried to keep them.
I think the only thing that happens at the Moorfield track related to football is middle school practice.
Right.
So that won't be as hard there as it probably has been at East Hardy with teams visiting and playing for both middle and high, but we will certainly share. Make sure we have some guidelines.
I have a question about just middle and high school. I know the intermediate school does not have a track team and their use is minimal, but I have a feeling you're gonna hear from these two schools that the intermediate school uses the track too. Let's make them contribute a little.
My thoughts are that there could be scheduled times when with appropriate shoes, intermediate school kids may go down and walk the track. But I think we probably need to revisit how the intermediate school uses the track.
Well, that's true too.
Because, if they go down at recess, that doesn't mean that kids aren't wearing dress shoes, high heels. There's probably lots of different types of shoes being worn on the track. I know they have balls down there sometimes that they'll be bouncing or playing with on the track. So I think once it's refinished, working with the administration at Moorfield Intermediate to have, again, maybe specific scheduled times to use it, but probably not in the same way it's been used before, which might eliminate some of that.
Or if they're using the field inside the track, rather than the track itself.
Yeah, and I know they're working on their playground too, and they have lots of other like field space maybe that they could use, but
Right.
I don't want to completely say they can't get on it ever, but I think probably with the refurbished
What
track.
do they do with the cornfield now?
It just depends on whether or not they make it there's corn planted if they're going to do their corn maze otherwise.
Do they have a corn in there this year?
This past year, I did not believe the
It
ag
was just
teacher that
fallow,
did the
wasn't it?
corn maze.
Or if anything was in there?
I don't think it was there.
I'm not
There
sure,
there was,
There was corn last year.
Huh?
There was corn
Was
last
it?
year.
but no
Not
maze.
this year.
Okay, they didn't put it out this
Yes.
spring.
Not that I've seen yet.
I'm sorry, when you said last year, I was thinking this
Here
year
we
was
go.
just finished. But I'm not sure what they're doing.
Because didn't Roy always plant that?
And then the last thing, the third last thing that I need from you is, You all received the School Board Association Conference and Training pre-registration, I think, and there are packages. So Sean needs you to take a look at that, and we're gonna pass it out, won't we?
Yep.
Now, do we have to have 12 hours?
Bring them back to the next meeting.
12 or 7?
It's 7,
7.
right?
I don't need it.
So if we do
That
the
was-
one
That
conference,
was the last word that came out from Jim Brown. Right. No,
that's what.
that was the last word, I thought so.
Exactly.
If you can fill that out and bring it back next meeting, then I can register them with Shirley.
Yes, thank you, Sean.
You do that.
Can I give it to you now,
Thank you.
or would that be confusing?
And there's also a President's
Would that be
Retreat, I
confusing
think,
if I just give it to you
the
now?
19th of July.
Right.
The 19th.
19th, 20th, I think, isn't it?
19th and 20th.
19th and 20th. If
There you go.
anyone wants to attend that, you also need to let Sean know that because she'll have to get you registered.
And I think I need to do that this week.
And that's in Glades Springs.
But otherwise, if you don't leave these forms today, bring them back with you and you can choose a package if you know for sure you're going to attend so many of those sessions a year. It does save a little bit of
Can
money.
we do the fall conference like we did last year on the,
In here, yeah, we watched it. Didn't we?
Yeah.
We can always do if they offer it, we can always set you up to do the virtual options, no problem.
And if you elect to do like package B and there's something else you want to go to, you're still allowed to go. You're just not paying for it in that package, so.
Yeah, because that package A is if we had to have 12 hours.
That's right, and they changed that back to the.
you figure they got a lot of static?
I thought I'd go.
Yeah, because the Senate bill passed
Right.
before the
The
House.
changes were made to it and, yes. that's right.
And so they were a day apart, and so that's why it didn't,
Yeah, the one that
Yeah.
actually would have passed had just the limited number of hours.
but all these are for like if you had to have 12 hours, so.
Yeah, like I said, I was gonna do the fall conference and the.
A lot of times you guys go to two of them anyway, so it's just whatever you want to do, take a look.
I mean, we could still go, I think it costs $10 more or something like that. Was it 10 or
I thought
20?
It was like 50 or 100, it was more significant than that. It was,
Oh, really?
it was a noticeable
Wonder why they
discount, but
changed
you
the
also have to
one-
pay if you don't
The
go.
presidents from Canaan to,
So if you change your mind.
Canaan is still new board members.
okay.
This is a president's conference.
Let's go
Then
see.
anybody can go to, they just call.
I think
Yeah,
the
they
last
could
one was
do-
at Stonewall, wasn't it? When there went at
I
Stonewall.
think there was.
That was that was one in November,
Mid-year is in November,
mid,
mid-year, November 16th.
yeah.
At-
The mid-year, is that the mid-year training?
Mhm. And end of the year training.
Anything else?
I don't think.
Anyone going to the president?
Anybody going to the president's, or if not, or if you decide to go, let Sean know by tomorrow morning.
Are you?
Are you going?
I'm gonna be going, I'm gonna be out of town.
You're gonna be gone?
Do you need someone to go?
It'd be nice if somebody went.
I mean, I'll go.
As many can go as one. It'd be good to just
You said it
go
was open
for
to
information, so it's open to anyone that wants to go at all. After talking to a lot of other counties, they have a repair and replace fund. They try to set back each year's amount of money. I know that we're probably not financially able to do that this year, but that may be something to think about
Okay.
down the road. You know, one county sends back 50,000 a year to stick in case you have a roof blow off or HVAC unit go down.
Okay.
Just something to consider, to start sticking a little money back in case we need it for something. Every time I listen to the EPIC meetings, I get amazed about the amount of money that they handle and have. I didn't realize till the last meeting that we pay $5 a student
We do.
to join to that organization. But yet anything that we get from them, we pay for also.
We do.
Bus driver training, we just paid like $6,000. What is the guy that helps Tony, that's 10 or 20,000. So I'm just curious what that 10,000 gets us other than being a membership and being able to use them?
Yeah, and I don't know if you remember when we went through with, I think it was Vita still at the time when we first started, and then we talked again we kind of look at it every few years. Walt, who's our server guy, is really the only one that can do that. So even though we pay the 10 to 15, whatever that is, there's different packages. I think we're in the 15,000 a year for Walt, but I'm not sure. We pay that on top of the 5 per kid, but we get a discount.
Who pays the
So-
salaries of the Epic people that actually work
They're paid out of the Epic general fund
From
from all
the-
the money that they collect.
from the state?
Yeah, no, from the
From the
money that they're
counties,
getting
from these
from the
counties,
counties,
okay.
from the 8 counties in the Panhandle. So the whole Panhandle, and actually Tyler and Mon County also bought in as members. Now, they don't get the same rates that we do because they're outside of the region, but the idea is that they'll sell their services, the substitute teacher training, the bus driver training, the technology, the Walt server guy, and there's other things that they provide. They sell those services outside to bring in additional money. And then they're hoping with all the money that we had, I don't know if you caught the last one, they'll
Yeah.
drop it maybe to $4 per kid. But yeah, we pay to be a member, and then we still have to pay for the services, but we
Yeah,
get a
anything-
discounted rate.
Yeah, anything that they do for us, we still end up paying for.
We
that,
do,
correct?
yes.
It's not like that fee we pay gets us anything other than being a member and then
Right.
providing the services.
Correct. You still pay, yeah, you pay the membership fee, and then you just get a discounted rate when you actually buy the services. Correct.
I'm just kind of taken back by that.
Yeah. We look at it every few years, and it's like, yeah, we still need those services, and we still need to.
Didn't it have something to do with the food service stuff too, maybe?
That's a separate,
Is that a
that's
different
the
one?
Panhandle 8 cooperative that
Okay.
Ms. Lewis is in, yeah. Different match.
Well, when it was the region, it was more expensive than what Epic has been.
When it was RISA. So
Yeah.
Yeah, when it was RISA. Yeah. And hopefully they'll drop it some here in for the next school year.
Just a question about mowing. Josh can probably answer this. Weed eating's included in that mowing,
It
right?
is,
And how often is that done?
should be as needed. Is there somewhere they're missing?
Well, you might just want to look around and go,
I have some notes.
Around the
too.
athletic facilities, it is not in the contract.
Right, exactly.
But along these fences, yes.
Right, okay. Well, you might just want to take a look at
Right
it
on.
when you have time.
Okay.
I was thinking too, like the mulch that we have, aren't they taking the stone off of that Moorfield
They
Mill?
should just spread it in the pitch like you did.
Remember the stone that's on that roof, Josh?
Oh, yeah, when they remove it,
Right.
so yes,
Can that stone be used in place of the mulch, so that has to be?
it can be. It's the same stone that's like out here on these flower beds is what it'll be.
I mean, there isn't much mulch in the buildings, really, is there?
No, there's not, and that is actually in the mowing contract as well, that they're supposed to mulch at the beginning and end of the school years before the graduation.
But they charge extra for that mulch, right?
Yes, we pay
I
for the
don't know.
mulch, or we get the mulch, and then they charge extra when they actually do the mulching. It's a
Okay.
set amount.
I saw it in the contract, and the contract can go back up again here soon too. But that gravel, we can use it for that. I was gonna use it on the back lot,
Oh,
as
that's
fill
true.
back there too,
Right.
because we had that, you probably know,
That'd be
that
good.
lower end is really wet.
That would be good for that too.
That's what, but
With more
there's so much
parking
of it,
spots.
I don't think I can use it all back there.
Well, just something.
We'll look at it.
It's got a lot of black mold on it
Yeah,
though.
so it's got
It's
Right.
kind of ugly and dirty up
Yeah.
there. It's not pretty river
Sure,
stone
sure,
like you get
exactly.
from Scott's, but
Right.
yeah, you could use it as that. And it's a little bit bigger than what most people
Right,
use.
okay.
Yeah.
Spray some Clorox
Just
on
something
it.
to think about.
That'll take care of
How
it.
many bus aides is there now? You know?
Just one.
You mean just, assigned to the whole bus, or riding with the students?
How many's riding with the students now? Just, you don't have to tell me now, just sometime look it up. and let me know.
A handful, not
Yeah.
a ton. I'd say under 5.
Okay, I just noticed they come through with extra knowledge.
Okay, yep, I'll find out.
That's all I have. Anyone have anything else? Future agenda items, anyone have anything there? Announcements,
The
July?
people who were supposed to be here, would that be, and wanted to reschedule, should that be?
Yeah, we'll
Add
add
it
them
here.
down. Yep, she has them. She has a,
Okay.
she has a date for them.
Announcements, July the 1st, 2024, Board of Education meeting, 5 PM here at the board office. Any other announcements? Mission statements and accomplishments?
It's nice having Nancy. If you get bored, come in and see us and we'll keep in contact.
I just want to thank all of the board members and Sheena. I think she's doing a fantastic job. If you need me for anything, please let me know.
You're official.
I'm not going well, I'm not saying I'm not going anywhere, but if I'm around.
That's
Just add you to every committee.
Absolutely.
Correct.
Well, not everyone, but I will be happy to help. And actually, my plans are to volunteer maybe at East Hardy Elementary to read to students or do something.
Wonderful.
I'm not
Be happy
getting,
to
I
help.
can't get totally out of education. And if things go bad, I'll probably be back. So.
Kids like to be read to. They really do. That's something most kids, even your ornery kids, like.
I want to thank Pilgrims for redoing the meat lab tables at East Hardy High School. They took those and sanded them down and polished them back up for us. They were rusting. And they took them and did all that for us at no cost.
They stainless steel?
They are, but they had used the wrong kind of steel wool on them and there were some rust
Made 'em
spots.
rust.
So they gave us, not only did they redo them, but they gave us new appropriate cleaning mats. to
So it doesn't
clean
happen
with.
again.
So, yes, it didn't happen again. So we
Very
appreciate that.
nice, very nice.
And we do need to congratulate East Hardy's baseball team on their sad trip to the States.
Well, but
But it was great that
State
they got there, and there are a
runner-up,
lot of
not
kids that made All-State. It was very,
Yeah, it was
very
good.
impressive. It was very
Good
nice.
trip. And congratulations to all graduates. We should say that too. I guess it's our first meeting since.
Anything else? Next on the agenda is personnel. Guess we maybe should just go in executive session for a few minutes to discuss superintendent's evaluation.
Move to go into executive session.
Do we want to do personnel first and then her evaluation? Or is that going to affect any of this?
It won't take us long.
Okay, okay.
That's no.
Is there a second? Probably move the second to go into executive session. Any discussion? Not proceed with all those in favor, say aye.
Uh,
Show us an executive session at 5:53.
executive session with no
Second.
actions taken.
Properly moved and seconded to come out of executive session. Any discussion? Not proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Vote is 5-0. Show us out of the executive session at 6:26 with no action taken. Next on the agenda is personnel.
You got the comment on my evaluation.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. We discussed with Mrs. Dr. Van Meter about her evaluation, everything. She met or exceeded everything. Everyone spoke highly of the job that she's doing, knowing that next year will be a trying year, and we're here to support her in any way that we can. Anyone have any other discussion or anything to say?
It's been a privilege working with you. Thank you.
Ditto.
If not, next on the agenda is personnel.
I recommend the approval of the personnel actions as provided.
Move to approve.
Second.
Properly moved and second to approve the superintendent's recommendations of personnel actions. Any discussion? If not, proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Vote is 5-0.
So we're gonna have to hire a new cafeteria manager.
Is there anything else that needs to be brought before the board this evening?
Do we have any days without pay to?
Yes, they were included on the
They were
personnel
included,
action.
okay.
Personnel, okay.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Properly moved and second to adjourn. Any discussion? Not proceed to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Vote is 5-0. Shows adjourned at 6:28. Did you have something? Jen?